Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live webinar of YouTube by Brahman Education Private Limited. I am Aman Kumar, an educator of Brahman Education Private Limited, and I welcome you all in this live webinar of YouTube, presented to you by the iAstronomers of the club. So, before we start the event, let me introduce you with our facilitator for this event. So, today we have Kripita who will be going to tell us about the today's event, which is on conjunction of Moon and Saturn. And after that, we have Sukhman Singh, who is going to give knowledge of about astrophotography, and he will be showing you some of Good evening, everyone. So, sorry for the some technical issue was there. So, I welcome you all again to the iAstronomer Club's YouTube live event on the conjunction of Moon and Saturn. So, today in this event, we will be live broadcasting you the live view of the conjunction of Moon and Saturn, and we also have here with me some of our iAstronomers, very young and very energetic iAstronomers, and they are really enthusiastic about the astronomy. So let me introduce you with iAstronomer Kripita Srivastava. So she will be telling us about today's conjunction. What is conjunction and which celestial bodies are going to be in the conjunction today? And after her, we have iAstronomer Sukhman Singh, who is going to tell us about the uh, wonderful world of astrophotography. Okay, so he will be telling us about some of the tools and techniques of astrophotography so that you can also learn, you can also start doing astrophotography. Okay, then we have one of our educator from iAstronomer Club only, Mr. Ashish Negi. So he will be doing very interesting activity today. So he will be telling about handy measurement, how we can measure the separations of two objects in the night sky with our hands. Okay, so he will be telling us about that with a very interesting activity today. And after that, we will be having a live view of today's conjunction between Moon and Saturn. So hold on your seats as we go and dive ahead in the wonderful evening of this conjunction, which is a very special conjunction today. So, with telescope in one hand and the passion of the universe in one hand, let us. This webinar is going to be a ticket for the revealing the secrets of the conjunction today. So, without wasting any more time, I request Kripita to please tell us about the conjunction with her presentation. So, Kripita, over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
so
please.
I'll be sharing the conjunction.
Yes.
I'll be sharing the PowerPoint. Sir, please enable my screen sharing option.
Kripita, you can try now.
Okay, sir. So it's still that host can't, I can't share the screen.
Okay. Kripita, please try now.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Now I've got the option.
Okay.
So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Kripita.
Okay, sir.
It's all over to you.
Okay, sir. So just wait a second. I guess the poster has gone missing from the this thing. So I'm going to just go back. Good evening to all. Today me, Kripita and iAstronomer from Uttar Pradesh is going to tell you more about Saturn and Moon conjunction, which will happen today on 30th of August 2023. Let's review a bit about the moon first. So, you can see that this is how the moon looks like in its zoomed form. Let's get to know a bit of information about the moon too. The moon is a large natural object that orbits or travels
Hello again, everyone. So again, a network issue. So this is technology, okay, but we should not criticize it more, okay, because of this technology only we were able to make the Chandrayaan 3 landing possible, right? So this technology only made the Chandrayaan 3 landing possible. So without wasting any more time, I request Kripita to please continue with your presentation on conjunction of Moon and Saturn.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Kripita.
I'll continue. So, sir, are you able to see my screen? Sir, are you able to see my screen?
No, Kripita, it is not visible right now.
Wait, sir, so I'll share again.
Yes. So, meanwhile, Kripita is sharing her screen. Just one thing I would like to say that this event, this live event, is just not like we are giving you something, we are presenting something to you. Okay, you can also interact with us. And how you can interact with us? You can interact with us in the chat box of this live YouTube streaming. Our experts are present over there. You can ask your doubt related to the conjunction or anything related to astronomy over here. So you may ask your doubt. Our experts will solve your query related to astronomy.
So now are you able to see my screen? So I shared it. Are you able to see my screen now?
No, Kripita, still not visible.
So, but I've shared it.
Okay, just 1 minute.
So now? So it's still not visible?
No.
But sir, I have shared it.
Give it 2-3 seconds, it will come.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so meanwhile, we are waiting for Kripita's screen to come visible. Let me make one announcement for you all, for all the iAstronomers, that there is one contest we are going to run, which is related to astrophotography. Okay, so this is a challenge for all of you to capture the beautiful view of the conjunction of Moon and Saturn on today, means on the 30th, and on the 31st also. So capture beautiful photographs of the conjunction both the days, and try to make them in one single template. Okay, and please share with us. After this, we will be finalizing the best pictures taken by you, and we will feature that best picture in our social media handles. And okay, so yes, the screen share is now done. So over to you, Kripita.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, start with the starting.
Okay, sir. Good evening to all. So today, I, Kripita, an iAstronomer from Uttar Pradesh, is going to tell you more about conjunction of Saturn and Moon, which will happen today on 30th of August 2023. So let's delve deeper into this topic. First, let's review a bit about the Moon. You can see that this is how the Moon looks in its zoomed form. The Moon is a large natural object that orbits or travels around the Earth. After Sun, it is the brightest object in the night sky. A fun fact for you all, that India has now got its connection with the Moon too. A hearty congratulations to all the proud Indians for the successful landing of Chandrayaan-3 on the Moon. By the way, did you know that the point at which Chandrayaan-3 landed on the Moon is known as the Shiv Shakti point? And the fact that that day at which Chandrayaan-3 landed on the Moon is known as the National Space Day for India. The moon phase during this conjunction. The moon is in the waxing gibbous phase, and at 99.6% it is actually very close to a full moon. So you can see that this is how a waxing gibbous moon looks like. It's actually really close to a full moon, but not all the part of the moon is illuminated by the sun. Saturn. Saturn is the sixth planet from the sun, orbiting at a distance of 886 million miles, which is equal to 1.4 billion kilometers. And a fun fact for you all. When Galileo first spotted this planet using his telescope, he thought that this was the planet with ears. Yes, you heard it right. The planet with ears. This is because he was not able to make out the rings of the planet from the planet's body itself. So you can see that this is beautiful Saturn with its gorgeous rings. Okay, so the main topic. What are conjunctions? Conjunctions happen or most celestial bodies appear close. In reality, the celestial bodies are far apart from each other, but they appear close as viewed from the Earth. So this is a good example of a conjunction. You can see that these two celestial bodies actually came really close from the perspective of Earth, but we don't know how far they were from each other in reality. That's what conjunctions are. What were some beautiful conjunctions before? One such conjunction was the Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, which last time happened in 2021. It was a spectacular show as both of the giants came as close as 0.1 degrees. The Great Conjunction happens every 20 years or so we can call it a rare event. You can see this is the zoomed image of the conjunction, and these giants came so close that even after zooming in, they were able to fit into a single frame. Today's conjunction. Today's conjunction is between Saturn and Moon. It is visible with the naked eyes, which means that you don't need an optical instrument to see it. It is because these two objects are really bright in the night sky. And a few days ago, Saturn had just reached its opposition, which means it was brightest in the sky. The Moon and Saturn will share the same light ascension or RA, with the Moon passing 2 degrees 29 minutes to the south of Saturn. The Moon will be 14 days old. As I already mentioned, that is really close to a full moon, which is 15 days old. Saturn and Moon in the night sky today at 7:30. So you can see that this is how Saturn and Moon looked in the night sky. This is a visualization of Saturn and Moon in the night sky on 7:30 today at 30th August 2023. So here we are discussing about the magnitude of the Moon and Saturn. Magnitude is basically the unit of brightness. The lower the magnitude, the brighter object. The Moon will be at magnitude minus 12.8 and Saturn at magnitude 0.4, both in the constellation Aquarius. So as I already told before, these two objects are really bright and can be seen with the naked eyes. Okay, now it's time to find out that how do we determine whether two objects are in conjunction or not? How do we determine when is the date of the conjunction? These both questions can be answered with the help of angular separation. Now I know what question is coming to your mind. What in the world is angular separation? Well, it's just a term which is used to see the apparent distance of two celestial bodies in the night sky. So, let us try to find out how do we determine the date of the conjunction. So, we are going to take 4 dates, 28th, 29th, 30 and 31 of August and see the angular separation. First, 28th August 2023. So, on 28th August 2023, we can see that the angular separation is 32 degrees 13 minutes. On 29th August 2023, we can see that this has decreased to 17 degrees 15 minutes. You can see it was a great difference. First it was 32 degrees and now it's 17 degrees 15 minutes. Today, on the day of conjunction, it has greatly decreased to 3 degrees 11 minutes. And as compared to the previous slide, you can see that this slide is like the Moon and Saturn are very close to each other. They are 3 degrees 11 minutes apart. Finally, tomorrow, on 31st of August 2023, we can see that this has again increased to 14 degrees 34 minutes. Since now we have seen the angular separation of these 4 days, we can determine that the closest approach was on 30th of August, which means that the day of conjunction was 30th of August 2023. This conjunction will be spotted in Aquarius constellation. So you can see this is the area of the Aquarius constellation and this is the pattern of it. So you can see that this is how the Aquarius constellation spreads in the night sky with its dim stars. And amidst the Aquarius constellation, in the middle of it, you can see Saturn and Moon. So all in all, if you want to catch a glimpse of this conjunction, look in the Aquarius constellation. Moon and Saturn conjunction will be set by 5:43 am. Here set means that it will go below the horizon by 5:43 am and after that we won't be able to see the conjunction. So if you want to catch a glimpse of this conjunction, look before 5:43 am. Thank you and happy conjunctions. Now, my other fellow iAstronomer, Sukhman, will tell you about astrophotography. Thank you.
Thank you, Kripita, for your very knowledgeable and mind-blowing presentation on the conjunction. Lots of information. I personally feel that iAstronomers might have gained. So thank you for your presentation, Kripita. So now I request our second facilitator, our iAstronomer Sukhman Singh, to present his presentation on astrophotography. So this is going to be really very interesting. We will be learning many new things about the astrophotography and what all equipments and what all settings should know about while doing astrophotography. Over to you, Sukhman.
Thank you so much, sir. So, my name is Sukhman and I have been an iAstronomer. Today, I will be facilitating the astrophotography part of this live webinar. So, I welcome you all to explore the cosmos through astrophotography. Today, we will learn about how to capture beautiful photographs of celestial objects. And at the end, I will show you my collection of astrophotographs. Now, let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, Sukhman, it is visible.
Okay, so let's start with the presentation. So these are some of my astrophotographs which I've clicked. So one is of the moon and one is of the sun. More on this at the end. So now we will learn how to capture such photographs with the help of your phone or even your DSLR camera if you have one available. So now let's first know what is astrophotography. Basically, it is astrophotography, also known as astronomical imaging, is the photography or imaging of astronomical objects. So basically what you do in astrophotography, you just click the photo of astronomical objects. It can be either a star, a planet, or maybe some event like supernova, which is rare, but yes, that is also an astrophotography. So you click photo of celestial objects through any optical instrument, or even if it is a big event, then it is also visible through either your phone or your naked eyes. So what is the most important element of photography? If you are thinking of light, you are surely right, because the answer is light only. Why is this the most important element? Because without light, we cannot see anything. Light is the carrier of information, or you can also say. Without light, there can be no transfer of information and no transfer of any images or any information throughout the universe. So we'll not know anything what is going on in the universe or even in our own planet. So now let's study about the various parameters which are used to control light. So there are three basic parameters. First one is ISO. Second one is shutter speed. And third one is the aperture. These are also known as the three pillars of astrophotography or even normal photography. ISO, shutter speed and aperture. Now let's study one by one in detail. So what is ISO? ISO is basically the image sensor sensitivity of your camera towards light. It digitally controls light and also allows how much light is going to hit the sensor. Aperture also does the same thing, but this does it digitally. If you increase it way too much, then your image will become grainy, or it will look like if it is of some old camera because the grain comes. So it should not be too high and too low, because if it is too low, then the image will be dim. And if it is too high, you will see purple and pink pixels popping up, which definitely, degrades the show of your photo. Going on to the next one, this is the shutter speed. So basically, what is shutter speed? Shutter speed is the time for which your sensor opens up to allow light to enter it. A slower shutter speed, like 10 seconds, is slower than 1 second. So it might be like a little bit confusing, but 10-second shutter speed is slower than 1 second shutter speed. So slow shutter speed is equal to long exposure, which will enter more light. Like if you have used 10-second shutter speed, then more light will enter as compared to 1 second shutter speed. Now, it is not always good for more light to enter. In various circumstances, you use different shutter speeds. For most of the time, our phone cameras are at the normal mode, are at the automatic mode, right? So it is almost, 1 by 30 seconds, it is like that. It is not much more than that, because then your light becomes overexposed. So we don't want that. But it is in the normal case. But when you're doing astrophotography, we need long exposures because of the Earth's atmosphere. The light gets blocked and we need more time for the light to get absorbed towards the sensor. So that is why we use longer exposures most of the time. But for objects like the moon, we don't use long exposures because it is already too bright. As told earlier, that it has a magnitude of -12 approximately nowadays. And also it is in -10, -11 only. A little bit fluctuation is there. So that is already too bright. So we need not use long exposure. We are also using fast exposures there. So it depends on the circumstances. Shutter speed also allows motion blur to enter your photo. In astrophotography, we don't want motion blur, so we have star trackers installed in our telescopes or DSLRs. What this does is that a star tracker is basically a motor kind of thing, which is joined to your tripod, you can say, your mount on which your optical instrument is held. So what it does is it moves with the object. Because if it is not moving with the object is moving because of the rotation of Earth, right? It is moving. And if you have a longer exposure, then it will leave a trail. Sometimes we want trails. If we are capturing star trails, we want to capture the moment. But again, in most of the cases, trail is unwanted and not wanted. So star trackers are used. It is expensive, but it can also be used. So if you are doing deep sky, fast shutter speed is mostly used because although you will get dim images, but still star tracker is needed to avoid the motion blur. As you can see, faster shutter speed is not showing any movement of the petals, but the slow shutter speed is showing it all. Now it depends, in this circumstance you wanted it to move, or you didn't want it to move. But if I'm talking about capturing photo of Moon or Saturn or Jupiter, you don't want it to move. So you have to center the object at the eyepiece. Otherwise, the photo is not going to look great. Now the third one and important one is aperture. In almost all phones, changing of aperture is not, I would say, available. In very less Sony phones, there's the flagships, there's this feature available. But what most people don't understand is that if there is aperture change, why would someone change the aperture to less? Because everybody wants more light to enter. But that's again not the case. If you're maybe shooting the photo of sky, if you're doing sky photography, then you need the aperture to be less, as sunlight is very much less magnitude. So you want the aperture to be as less as possible. So less light enters, and your photo is well exposed, not too exposed and not too dim. So you need to change the aperture accordingly. This is called the F ratio, which is the ratio of the focal length to the aperture. As the more less the ratio is, the brighter the photo will become. So as the aperture is going down, the ratio is increasing, you can see. So in telescopes also, the higher aperture you go, the more light the telescope will allow to enter it. The mirror becomes bigger in Newtonian telescopes. The more bigger the aperture is, the larger the diameter of mirror becomes. So that is again good, but again certain circumstances, if you are observing the sun with a telescope, then you need to use a filter. I will tell you at the end more about it. So smaller f number is equal to the wider the aperture. So these are some equipments you might require for astrophotography. Telescope, see, one is telescope. Now there are some conditions if you want a telescope or not. Cameras are also available, and if you don't want telescope, then a camera should have a longer focal length lens. These are available in the market. You have to check out the price. I have no idea because I have a telescope and not a camera. But what I think is they are a little bit expensive. So you can get some big focal length lens and enjoy it to a camera. Then your camera can itself become a fine telescope. It can observe the moon at least and the planets and the deep sky astrophotography also. So you can use it for that. And a tripod is a must. Even if you are using a camera or a telescope, tripod is needed to keep it stable, because astrophotography cannot be done without keeping the camera stable. And as I was talking about star tracker, because the objects are moving continuously because of the Earth's rotation, so you need a star tracker obviously so that the objects are centered. If star tracker is mostly used by professionals, even I don't use star tracker in my setup. But yes, you can work without it also. If you can practice a little bit, then you will, you will start to change it to the center. You will gain practice eventually. But if you have to go to higher steps of photography, then a star tracker is a must. So telescope, camera, tripod, and star tracker are required. Not all, but some are required at one time to do astrophotography. Now, all that I've used the words like expensive, this is expensive, that is expensive. It might sound like an expensive hobby, but you don't need the best professional equipment. As I said, if you are starting astrophotography, you don't straightforward need a star tracker, or you need to get the best telescope, or you need to get the best DSLR. Even I use my phone and telescope and tripod for astrophotography. I have not straight away jumped to the best professional equipment. It's been 1.5 years or 2 years approximately I've been doing astrophotography, and I've not required star tracker yet. Maybe I'll upgrade it in the future, but I have not used it till yet. And I'll show you how my photos are. So don't be afraid that it is an expensive hobby and you are afraid to start with it. You can start with it. There's no problem in that. First, you can start by observing the sky with your naked eye. You will get fascinated, and then your passion will rise for maybe buying some instrument, maybe a entry-level telescope. But that surely will increase your strength and passion towards astrophotography. Now let's have a look at my astrophotography, my photographs of the celestial objects. So this is a super moon I captured a few months back. You can see the craters. I would not say this is my best photo because you can see the light here. I was running at the time, and you can see there's some blur over here. So that much works. You can see the details here, and you can see this is not overexposed and too dim photo. So you need to control the three parameters: ISO, shutter speed, and ISO, shutter speed, and exposure. You need to control three of them. Aperture, you need to control all of them to get a great photo. These are of the moon again. Again, some days back I captured them. So this is a little dim photo because of the clouds. This is a little bit dim. This is on the same day, but at this time the clouds were not there, and this time the clouds are there. And you can see, if you are able to observe, the shape of the moon appears to be a little different. Even if this is all almost the same time, maybe 10 minutes difference. So this is different because of my the position of my phone with respect to the eyepiece. The bending of light happens when you do not position your phone accurately. And if you might ask which is more accurate shape, this is the more accurate picture of the moon, because this is a little bit compressed, you can say, because this is little bit less diameter photo, but this is the more accurate picture. It is dim, of course, but still the shape is better here. This is, I would say, a great photo of mine. This was my first, clear photo. This is of a waning crescent moon. So this is a stacked photo. Now I'll just take 1 minute to explain you what is stacked and single frame. So what I've done is I've captured a number of frames, more than 100 you can say. So I captured 100 different photos of the moon at almost the same time. So I captured 100 different photos. Then there are various softwares like AutoStacker and Registax, in which you can put these photos, and these photos will be stacked. They will be stacked on each other, and it will create one high quality photo. So you can see the craters are visible quite clearly here. Alright. All other are single frame. Single frame means only one photo is edited, but this photo has been stacked and then post processed. There are various softwares in which you can process your photo. Astrophotography also, post processing is also an essential part of astrophotography, because if you search on the internet about astrophotography of a single, if I talk about Orion Nebula, if you search photos about it, you will find various photos of various colors and all, and you might think that some are fake, but almost all will be real, even if colors are different, because post-processing of people and their thinking is different. So everybody processes photos in their own way, in their own unique manner. So don't be surprised if you see different colored photos or different shaped photos. Don't be surprised, because everybody has their own unique style of post-processing. That is exactly okay, no problem with that. You will learn if you start with astrophotography on your own. These are again of the moon, a little bit zoom photo of the moon. This you can see where my cursor is. This is the mountain range, Mount Apenus on the moon. Not too tall, but these are fine. You can say mountain ranges at least. So these are the craters clearly visible here. Now, I'm sure you are able to guess the name of the celestial object. And yes, it is Saturn, the ringed planet, the planet with the most moons. So you can see here, the rings are clearly visible. This again is a single frame, otherwise I would have got a clearer picture. But the atmosphere was not allowing me, the clouds were there, so I was not able to capture a lot of photos. But I was able to capture the single frame, which I edited later. Which I edited later. And then I got this picture. You can see the details are visible, the rings. Although the bands, Saturn also has bands, they are not visible. If I would have stacked, then maybe it would have been visible. This is also a photo of Saturn on the same day, but a different frame. So you can see it is a little bit high quality. You can see the rings better. It is not zoomed, but you might feel it is of a little high quality because the pixels are not blurred that much. Now here comes the sun. For the sun, you cannot straightforward view it with your camera or your telescope. You need to use a solar filter, which is an ISO approved solar filter. Otherwise, it can damage your eyes. So before buying a solar filter, do check it out that it is safe and approved, because it can damage your eyes permanently and also your optical instrument. So do take care of that, and use a solar filter, telescope, and a phone to capture this. So these are the sunspots here. You can see these black dots. So basically these are of big size, if I'm right. One of them would be of roughly of the size of the Earth. This one would be of the size of the Earth only. So you can see how gigantic the sun is. Right. So why these black, you might ask? So because of the magnetic field of the sun, it keeps changing. It is not in every 11 years or so, there is a cycle of the sun in which the magnetic poles flip. Because of the flipping, the regions of sun become a little bit cold. There's only a kelvins of difference, very less difference. All of it is 5,000 degrees Celsius, and some of it might be 4,700, 4,800, or even 4,900. Then they appear black. It's very less difference again, I'm telling, but still they appear to be darker as respect to this. Every day, if you observe the sun, as I said to the filter, you might see different spots because these keep changing every day. This is like this photo I showed you. This is a zoom pic of another day because it is of this part you can see. Here there is no spot, but here you can see there is a spot. This is a zoom part. So I've explained you what are sunspots. So basically this is a zoom photo of this one, right? So you can see these are black portions of this. So my presentation ends here, and I am very thankful towards Brahman Education for giving me this opportunity. Now I would like to give away. Now I would like to give the stage to Ashish sir. It is all to you, sir.
Thank you, Sukhman, for the very wonderful presentation on astrophotography. So I'm really thrilled and I'm really amazed from the knowledge of astrophotography you have at this young age. So it is really very interesting. So we just learned about the fascinating world of astrophotography by Sukhman Singh, and now we have Ashish Negi, our educator here, who is going to tell you about a very interesting method that you can use to measure the distances in the sky between any two celestial object. So I request Ashish to take the stage now and show you the handy measure activity. Over to you, Ashish.
Hello everyone. Good evening. Hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Ashish Negi. Okay, so I am going to talk to you about the separations of two celestial objects with the help of our hand, and we will measure the degrees how separate two celestial objects can be. As we are observing today, we are observing about the conjunction of Moon and Saturn, and have a look how can we measure the night sky with the help of our hand. It is called handy measurement, as you know. Okay, so first I will give you some rules about the handy measurement. Okay, so first rule about the handy measurement, it is like we have to stretch our arm like this, and we can close our one eye to watch that celestial object in the sky. Okay, we have to stretch like straight. Then the first rule for observing, for measuring the degrees in angle, so it is our fist. This fist will calculate you, give you a 10-degree wide range from here till here. Now, second rule about the fingers, 3 fingers, that is our index finger, middle finger, and ring finger. It will give you an angle of 3 degrees in the night sky. The third one, the pinky finger, the small finger, it will give you an angle measurement of 1 degree wide from here till here. Okay, now I can show you virtually measurement of this handy measurement. Okay, so have a look. It's a virtual moon conjunction of Moon and Saturn conjunction. I will show you how you can measure the night sky. Suppose this our hand to measure the tool. Okay, measurement tool. Suppose what I have given you, it is 10 degree from till here to till here. So it is 10 degree till here. Now make count of, we have to add 10 more, it is 20. Now plus 10, it is 30. Now how much from here? We will not use the fist, we will use we can use our pinky finger, or we can use this middle finger. It will give you a count of 3, so it will total 35 degree. Okay, so with the help of our stellium, we can also measure out how far they are. Actually, in really how far they are. Okay, now from Saturn till Moon, it is 3 degrees apart. The separation of these two celestial objects are 3 degrees apart. Okay, now we will measure the height from the horizon of Moon. How much? It is 31 degree. And if we talk about the Saturn, it is also 31 degree from the horizon. Okay, right? I hope you have understood about the handy measurement. Okay, now we will look about the live view of the conjunction. Okay, so thank you everyone. It's over to Aman sir now.
Thank you, Ashish sir, for your wonderful knowledge, for giving your wonderful knowledge about the handy measurement. So with the help of this technique, you can easily find out the separation between two celestial objects that you can see in the night sky. Okay, so meanwhile, we are showing you the live view from our setup of the conjunction of Moon and Saturn. I will be telling you about one announcement again. Yes, the announcement for the astrophotography contest, which is for all the iAstronomers. So what you have to do, it is a very simple one. Just you have to capture the beautiful pictures of today's conjunction, that is between Moon and Saturn, and you have to capture it for today, that is on 30th of August, and then you have to capture it again tomorrow, that is on 31st of August. So here you can see we are trying to show you the live view of the conjunction of Moon and Saturn. So meanwhile we are setting up the system. I would like Kripita to please tell us about the view, whatever we are seeing through this screen about the Moon and about the conjunction.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So over here, sir is trying to show us the conjunction, and he's fitting in the frame of the moon. You can see that this is the blurry image of the moon, and in its zoomed in form, of course. So you can see he's trying to fit in the frame, and now you're able to capture see a blurry image of the moon, and you can see a kind of halo surrounding it. Now it is much clearer, I must say. You can see some of the mares on the moon, and some of the craters are also visible, and you can see the mares overhead. So mares are actually dark spots on the moon, which scientists and astronomers earlier thought that they were seas of lava, seas of water. But after we have studied more about the moon, we came to know that these are actually we actually came to know that these are seas of lava, and these appear as dark spots in the moon, as you can see in the image. So you can see that after time and time, this image, sir is trying to make this image more and more clear, so that we all can get a beautiful view of the moon. And still now also you can see that this view is a lot different from what we see when we see it in our actual lives. So this is how the moon is looking, and after you observe this conjunction, you can yourself point out at how the moon differs when it's zoomed in and when it's seen right now. So I hope you are able to distinguish between nears and the white part of the moon. As I earlier told you in my presentation that the objects are not really close to each other, but from the perspective of Earth they look like that. So here you can see the live example of that. You can see that Saturn is not anywhere nearby, and the moon is, we can view the moon from here, but we are not able to look at Saturn because Saturn is really far away from the moon. It's just that from the view from the Earth we are able to see like they are very close to each other. That's mainly because of the angular separation we see from the Earth itself. I feel that this is the more realistic view of the moon as we had seen before. And you can try capturing this moon with your telescopes too, and you can see that this image has got a lot more clearer, and this is a beautiful and a gorgeous view of the moon. I hope you are able to point out the demirs, some whitish parts, and the craters of the moon. It's a lot different from what we see, because when we see from our eyes we see it as an illuminated ball, and it's like white light, and I don't see any white light here because this is the actual view of the moon. So you can see that this phase of the moon is nearly close to a full moon, but a little bit from the side it's not illuminated. This is why I called it the waxing gibbous moon. It's actually close to a full moon, but not completely full. So this you can also use your phones or some kind of optical device in order to capture it so that you remember this magnificent view of the moon forever.
Yes. Thank you, Kripita, very much for explaining about what the moon is and how we are looking it about today. So, due to some weather condition in the Delhi, we are not able to see Saturn today. But if you go, then you might see a very small white dot shining close to the moon, and that would be the Saturn. Okay, so we try to show you the moon with our setup, and the Kripita explain you about what is moon. And one thing I would just like to tell everyone about today's moon and about the today's conjunction. So conjunction keeps happening every month. Okay, every month conjunction comes. Some planet be always in the moon, in conjunction with the moon, but today's conjunction is something special. Why it is special? Because today's moon is very special. As you all can see that today's moon is totally fully bright. So it's in full phase. Okay. Also one more very special thing is that this is the second full moon of August month, right? And there is one very special term that we use for such full moon, which whenever repeats twice in a single month, we call it a blue moon. So today we have blue moon conjunction with Saturn, which makes it a very special conjunction today. So I thank you all my facilitators, Kripita, Sukhman Singh, and Ashish sir for giving their very inspiring knowledge on conjunction and astrophotography and handy measurement. And with this note, I Thanks every one of you to thank. I would like to thank every one of you for joining today and witnessing the event. So, thank you everyone for joining. Keep exploring clear night sky to all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.